That's fair. Okay. Yeah.
I showed him everything, but he has the big setup.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I just wanted to bring this one because it's huge.
A little less, yeah. Yeah.
I bet the IT take
Right. Right. Oh well, make it work. I mean, that's nice of having
Yeah.
Okay.
basically this. But the problem is I don't have anything. Yeah, like, I feel like if I was dead for that, I would definitely go for that.
Nice ball, Logan. Right here.
Thank you.
You don't roll 200, man.
What? I got you. I'll do it.
We'll buy the same way.
Okay, if I can have everybody please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead and get the check marks and your names will come up. As always, if you have any lane issues or problems with scoring, please let one of the coaches know. Good luck and good ball tonight.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to Cyclone Lanes for our second home bowling meet of the year. This is Haley Porter here to announce today. We are currently starting our meet against OABCIG Falcons. We're going to go ahead and start with our starting lineups. We have our varsity girls on lanes 3 and 4. Starting lineup for our varsity girls are McKenna Erickson, Eden Raymond, Alyssa Funke, Katie Stern, Andrea Wrightbelt, and Ivy Stevens. For the Falcons on lane 4 varsity girls, we have Hope Gann, Jaylee Williams, Shaylin Bloom, Kendra Baker, Lizzie Hoffling, and Tori Wallace. On lanes 5 and 6, we have our varsity boys. Starting on lane 5 with our varsity Harlan boys, we've got Eric McCulley, Jason McDaniel, Donnie Smith, Caleb Ernst, Wyatt Swank, and Logan Strom. On lane 6 for the varsity boys on the Falcon side, we've got Lane Howard, Trevor Grader, Alex Weir, Chase Meisner, and Blaze Wilcox. on lane 3 for the Harlan varsity girls, we have Eden Raymond for her first shot of the day. And on lane 5, we have Jason McDaniel. Looks like he's going to go Brooklyn for a strike for us today.
Yep. Yep. Somebody did up on this road. You got it, Donnie. Take it off. Got it.
Alright, and Eden Raymond was able to pick up the spare on lane 3 over there. She unfortunately started with a gutter ball, but was able to come back and knock all 10 back with the spare for the varsity girls. The varsity girls had some success earlier in their season last week with the Red Oak tournament on January 14th. We came out with Andrea Wrightville on top with a 201 high game, which was a season high for the girls' individual games. And then she also had a 385 two-game series, which actually won her the tournament on the individual side. So that's a great way to kind of start the early part of the season. They then went to Corinda last week, and now we are here for our second home meet. Lots of high scores coming off of those last few meets, but obviously looking to break some more of those season records today, just with more practice since the first home meet, and of course being on home turf always helps. On the boys' side over here on lane 5, we have a few good starts over here. Eric McCulley started with a 9 spare, Caleb Ernst and Jason McDaniel both started with strikes. Bowler up on lane 5 for the varsity boys as they start their journey throughout the first frame. A little bit of a struggle there for Wyatt and Donnie. We'll see how Logan can handle this. Fortunately knocked that 5 out of the 5-10 split. So now we just got a 10 pin left to pick up. Andrea Wrightville up on lane 3. Like I mentioned earlier, she did come away with the individual high series and games from the Red Oak tournament last week. So hoping for another good meet for her today, especially, again, just being on our home lanes. The ability to kind of figure everything out a little bit more when you're at home is always a good feeling on the lanes. All right, and Ivy Stevens, one of our seniors on the girls' side, she is up to bowl on lane 3 right now. She has had a 213 for her high game this year. Unfortunately, a little bit of a rocky start right there, putting the first one in the gutter. She did just beat her high 2-game series of 332 and replaced it with a 338 earlier this week, or last week, excuse me. So we'll see if she can top that off a little bit more tonight. Second ball looked much better. The Cyclones do have one more home bowling meet this season. That will be on Monday, January 27th. So we'll be back here in just a few short days for that. And that will be our senior night. We do have 4 seniors, I believe, graduating. So if you want to come out and support your favorite senior bowler, we'd love to see you here. And that will start at 3:45 on Monday, January 27th. Got Eden Raymond up again on lane 4. We'll see what count she can grab for her spare from the first frame. Pretty good count. Looks like she's going to walk away with a 6 count on that, which is always helpful on a spare. misses that spare there on lane 4. Now we will see Alyssa up to bowl on lane 4. Donnie Smith unfortunately just missed another spare on lane 6 for the Cyclone boys. Hopefully Caleb can help him get back in a little groove here. Let's see what he can do. Go for the double. Caleb's ball looks pretty good. It's going to be a little tight into the pocket, so he does leave a 7 pin. Caleb is one of the freshmen on this team. His high game this season is a 178 with a 326 high series for the 2 games. I know there's lots of room for improvement right there. He spent a lot of time in here practicing, so we'll continue to see his numbers grow tremendously over the next few years. Does spend a lot of time working on those spares, just getting in here, practicing. Looks like he's going to possibly get over there and knock down that 7 pin for the Cyclones. Hopefully Wyatt is able to build off of that here on lane 6. OBACIG boys had a really good second frame here on lane 6, all closed, which is always a good feeling. Andrea Wright is up again on lane 4. She left just a baby split. It's the 310 split that she's left. This is a very makeable spare, although it is a split, so we'll see if she's able to run that down. Eric McCauley was not so lucky and unfortunately left a bigger one, which was the 6, 7, 10. Was able to pick the 6 off of that.
Right. Oh. I guess I'm just kidding. Town is this actually?
It's like
Ida
Grove, Battle Creek, Arthur, and Otago, I think. Logan Strawn just had a very lucky strike there on lane 6. All the pins just decided to fall. We've got Donnie Smith up again on lane 5 for the Cyclones. His high game this season is a 193 with a high 337 series. Love to see some more records broke today for their series highs. Looks like the Falcons are still continuing to start off pretty well in their 3rd frame. Looks like Lane had a pretty tough lead there on lane 6 and was able to get a 2 count out of there. Caleb Ernst up again on lane 5. Right now he's leading the Cyclones. A little bit tough of a spot to see what their leaves are until they turn around to come back on the approach. Caleb just left a 3-pin spare, so we'll see if he can run that back. Eden Raymond has a tough leave on lane 3. She's got the 278, which does include a split. Looks like she was able to get a 2 count out of that. Got Wyatt Swank up on lane 5 now. Wyatt is a sophomore with a high 182 for the season and a high of 309. looking at the rest of the bowling season schedule for this year, like I said, Monday we have senior night against Red Oak on the 27th here at Cyclone Lane, starting at 3:45. Then February 1st, we have a tournament up in Lamar's, Iowa. That will be always a good one. Early start time, but always a tournament that's well worth it. Lots of good competition, especially with those northern Iowa schools. Looking at some of the Sioux City schools, Lamar's has always had a very strong program. So regardless of outcome, it's always a good tournament for our bowlers to continue to grow. February 6th, they have the Monarch Memorial Tournament, which will be in Denison. February 7th, they have the Lynx Baker Bash at 12:30. That will be in Council Bluffs. And then they have a triangular on February 11th, which is Lewis Central and St. Albert. Again, will be in Council Bluffs with a start time of 3. Postseason is just going to be the Hawkeye 10 on February 14th. Always usually falls around Valentine's Day on that Friday, which will also be in Council Bluffs. And then we've got our Girls State Qualifier on February 17th. Location to be determined. And Boys State Qualifier is going to be February 18th. Again, location to be determined. So they still got a majority of their season ahead of them, especially with all of those tournaments, the Baker Bash, the Triangular. Lots to look forward to. And again, like I said, lots of room to continue to grow as bowlers and as a team. Really test you when you get to those bigger tournaments, competition you haven't seen or you might not see during regular season also. So always a good time to learn from what they've done, learn from other teams, see what they're doing, what works for them, and learning just how to read the lanes. Lane play improves throughout the season tremendously, which is always a good thing. Injury right felt just picked up a single pin spare over there on lane 3. And now we've got senior Ivy Stevens up again. Ivy is struggling a little bit on her first ball for the first 2 frames, so we'll see how she's able to learn from those. And looks like that ball's going to be a lot better. It's going to go cross lane, but we're just going to leave a sleeper back there. So we've got the 3-9, excuse me. Ivy's up to cover the spare on lane 3, and she's going to grab it. I'll take a quick minute to thank our 2024-2025 sponsors here now. We've got Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOV Radio, Keast Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conductix Wampler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Mercy Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. And again, thank you to our sponsors. Kenna Erickson is coming off of a strike for the Cyclones. Tough ball. Looks like it just fell right into the gutter on the right side of the lane. About made it down there to pick off that 10 pin, but just not quite. Caleb Ernst up for the Cyclones on lane 6. Another single pin spare. He's got the 10 pin up there this time. He's got a good ball there. Even if you're not striking, the nice thing is a 9 spare for a whole game is still going to get you a 180, which is a pretty decent game for a lot of these high schoolers. If all of them did that, they would all have a season high of at least 180 or above. So always something to look at, something to consider, and it shows you, again, why spares are so important in the game of bowling. Wyatt Swank can't seem to catch a break here. This is now his second official split of the game. But some of his counts have been tough. His leads have been hard. So we'll see if he's able to at least knock one of these down and maybe talk to one of his coaches and figure out what can be changed to just get things going a little bit better heading into the second half of the game. Eden Raymond just had a good ball on lane 4. Looks like it's going to hang on and at least get a pretty good count here.
you go, buddy.
Sounds like we've got all stuck on lanes 5 and 6. All right, so our varsity boys are going to take a quick break here. Looking over at lanes 3 and 4, our varsity girls are going to continue to keep pulling despite the quick break here on 5 and 6. JV boys over on lanes 7 and 8 are going to make this a pretty quick day. Each team only has 5 bowlers. Teams are allowed to have up to 6, and then low scores will be dropped for that 6th bowler, depending on the series and game scores. So they're going to continue to move through pretty quick. Here we've got Katie Stern up on lane 4. Again, her season high game is a 140 with a high 2-game series of 257. She had a very nice ball there, came up a little bit high into the pocket, and she left a 610.
Be honest, you were this emotional.
Unfortunately, Katie's not going to be able to recover on that spare. Looks like the ball came off a little bit to the left, so she pulled that a little bit. Wasn't able to get it over to the full right side of the lane. Still working on getting balls back from the underground. Sometimes that just tends to happen, especially if it's a little bit oily on those lanes. The balls don't have enough traction to get up the ball return. So bear with us while we figure out that problem. They're working to get that fixed. We've got all of our help tonight down there working on that issue. Andrea Wright up on lane 4, just put back all 10 for the Cyclone girls. And now we'll get back to Ivy Stevens. All right, varsity boys are going to get going here momentarily. Struggled to come off Ivy's hand a little bit. She pulled that a little bit, missing the head bit to the left. So she'll have a 1-3 to shoot at now. Erica Cooley up on lane 5 to get the Cyclone boys back in action after that little intermission. Leaves a 5-pin. That ball looked really nice off of Ivy's hand. She's going to go right into the pocket. And she's going to cover that spare. All right, and Eric is able to cover that 5-pin there for the Cyclones. Caleb, 9-pin fell on 6, he needs a full rack. 9-pin fell on 6, he needs a full rack. Jason just misses that 9 pin that was part of his little bundle of spare there. Right now, we've got our varsity girls sitting at a 268. Just a reminder that we do drop low scores for that 6 bowler. Teams go based just off of a 5-person team, but we do have 6 people on the roster, so 6 people can bowl. We're going to go ahead and drop low series. So right now, like I said, our varsity girls, OABCIG is sitting at a 317 to Harlan's 270. Varsity boys, Harlan is sitting at a 334 to OABCIG's 322. And our junior varsity boys, Harlan is sitting at a 218 to OABCIG's 311, excuse me. Got Caleb Ernst up again on lane 5. We'll see if he's able to get all 10 back this time instead of this 9 spares that he's been going for. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to trick that 4-pin forward. So he's going to go up for another single pin spare, but as long as he keeps up the way that he's doing it right now, he's not going to have any problem picking this up today. Katie Stern is going up to shoot at a 7-pin over on lane 3 for the Cyclone varsity girls. Unfortunately, she's just going to miss that.
Okay. I'm going to give it a try.
No surprise, Caleb's going to knock this 4-pin back. I'd love to see a few strikes from our Harlan boys tonight. OABCIG does have very solid ball rotation on the boys' side, but they're also struggling to get it in the pocket a little bit. So we'll see how everybody's able to adjust going into, again, the second half of this first game. Just got to, again, leave the lane play is just an important part of this. As you can see on lanes 5 and 6, they left almost identical spares. They're just not getting those balls to the head pin quite enough. The balls are just not getting to the breaking point at the right point. So see if any of them can talk to their coaches and figure out what needs to be done. A couple of moves to the right or the left, depending on if they're right-handed or left-handed. See if they're able to cover some of these and get into the pocket a little bit better. Ivy Stevens had another good ball on lane 3, but unfortunately she's still just struggling to get to the pocket a little bit. Could be fixed by a quick move, just maybe a couple boards to the left, or to the right, excuse me, to get that ball moving a little bit inwards towards the head pin. It's just not coming up quite enough. Logan Strom's ball was a little bit high, but he's going to go ahead and leave a 6-pin. And Ivy was able to pick up that 7 spare. That's her second 7 spare in a row. Looks like this could be a pretty neck and neck meet for our varsity girls here on lane 3 and 4. Keeping pretty in tune with where OABCIG is at. They just have a few more strikes than we do, a couple more fills across the board with spares as well, but our girls seem to be getting a little bit more confident with where they're putting the ball, so the spares will come in time. Just got to hone in on those and really focus on what we're doing on the lane. Eric Coley's ball looks good, but he's unfortunately still going to leave an 8-10. That 8-pin's really struggling to stay up, but looks like it was almost got to ball. Again, very good ball rotation on lane 5 from Lane Howard for OABCIG Falcons. He's been able to find where he needs to put that ball in the lane. That was his first strike of the game, but if he can repeat that, he's going to have a very strong finish to this first game and a strong second game. Another strike for the Falcons on lane 5 from Trevor. That was a very good ball. He's had 3 of those today. Struggled a little bit in that 4th and 5th frame, but was able to recover with that strike there. So far, it doesn't look like we have any clean games going from anybody on either team, and same goes for our junior varsity. So the second half needs to be filled with a lot of fills from the Harlan Cyclones to put them in a good position going into the second game before we start our bigger series. So for those of you who are not familiar, the format of a high school bowling meet during the regular season is going to be 2 individual games. Then we'll take a quick break to finalize all the scores, figure out what series is getting dropped from each team, and then we reconvene for Bakers. Baker format is a lot more fun in the sense of it really gets the whole team engaged in the game, and everybody's bowling the same game. So you're going to have one bowler who's going to be your leadoff. They're going to bowl the first and the 6th frame. Then we've got 2nd and 7th, 3rd and 8th, and so on. You're going to finish with your person in the 5-man spot. So you've got your anchor is what people tend to call that person in the 5-man bowl. So it's going to be the 5th and 10th frame that you rely on that 5th bowler for, hence why they are called the anchor. They have the opportunity to have a couple more shots because they have that 10th frame. So you want to have your strongest bowler in that 5-man spot, just to make sure that you're hopefully getting an extra shot in the 10th frame, whether it's 3 strikes, sparing a strike, 2 strikes, and a count. There's lots of ways that it could go, but as long as you're getting that extra shot in the 10th frame, that means a lot. So we will get to see the Baker play today. Teams get a lot more into that. It can get very loud depending on who your opponent is, which is always really fun just to see that atmosphere come to life during a bowling meet. All right, Donnie Smith up on lane 6 was able to get a 7 spare for the Cyclones. And we're back to Caleb Ernst in the lineup. OBACIG had a really good 6th frame there. 1 open, 1 spare, and 3 strikes. They also only have 5 bowlers on their varsity roster, so they won't be dropping any scores, and that also means that for all 5 Baker games, they will have the same lineup, or same 5 bowlers. They might change that lineup a little bit depending on how everybody's bowling, but they'll have the same 5 boys bowling all 5 of the Baker games. Caleb Ernst comes out with a 7 count here in the 6th frame. He left the 2-4-6. This is an easy spare. As long as you know where your strike shot is at, you're just going to move a little bit to make sure that your ball comes up a little bit more. So you're going to move for him and be a couple boards to the right, just to see if you can get that and kind of hit it in that 2-5 pocket. Excuse me. He left the 2-4-5. And it looks like he's going to go Brooklyn. He's going to still be able to shoot that out. All right, Ryan Spank up again for the Cyclone boys. I'd love to see him get a good count here. He's been struggling this game. Just needs that 1 confidence boost, 1 good shot, a repeatable shot. Get it right in the pocket. And this looks like it's going to be one of his better shots there. Left a very makeable spare. Just has the 5-8 there. Got Jason McDaniel up on lane 5. Looking at his stats for the year, his high game is a 185 on the season and a high series of 307. Struggling a little bit this game. Hasn't been able to get a fill since the 1st frame where he had a strike, a split, and some lower counts in there. So we'd love to see him get a little bit more comfortable going into the 2nd game here shortly. Logan's ball was a little outside there, so it didn't come up quite to the pocket. So he left a nasty, looks like a split, but technically is not considered a split because it has the head pin in there. So he's got the 1-2-8-10. If he were to move a little bit, hit Brooklyn, there is a really good chance that he could use that head pin to knock out the 10. But then you just worry about getting that sleeper, which is the 8 pin behind the 2. So a few different ways you can shoot at this. How I would go about it is obviously that Brooklyn shot to get to the 1-2 pocket, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and he's going to pick it up. That was a great shot. All right, Ivy Stevens can't seem to get away from these 7 counts here, but she has been able to cover the last couple. Unfortunately, she's just going to knock off the 1-2 for this for the 6th frame. Caleb Ernst up again on lane 5 already, coming off of a 7 count spare. Is going to go into the pocket a little bit high. And he's going to leave the 3-6. We've also got Eden Raymond up again on lane 3. Her high game this season is a 66 with a high series of 127. Would love to see her have a couple strong frames and beat that score today. She's very close, so only 12 pins away from tying her high score for this year. So we would love to see her get some count in the last 3 frames and beat a record today. Caleb knocks down his spare on lane 5, leading up again to Wyatt Swank. Would love to see a good shot off of Wyatt. He's getting so close to the pocket. I know he wants it. We'd love to see him come out of this little rut that he's been in this game and hopefully figure something out before going again into that second game. Gonna go Brooklyn on this. And he's gonna leave another split. That's his 3rd official split of the game, leaving the 5-10. Can tell he's frustrated, not sure exactly what to do or how to go about this. It's tough to get out of a rut like that, especially when it's just split after split after split. It can be hard to kind of regain your focus and figure out what needs to be done. And he's going to go Brooklyn, and he just about shot that out. So picked off the 5 pin out of that, and we'll head back to Logan Strong.
Ended up, I had to
Cyclone girls just continue to struggle over there on lanes 3 and 4. Not a whole lot of fills. No fills in the 6th frame. Only 1 fill in the 5th frame. And only 2 fills in the 4th frame. So this has not been their best game. I'm sure Coach Anderson's down there trying to figure out a game plan going into the second game, what we can change. And try to get spirits up a little bit. And hopefully they can still come out strong and have a good second game. Logan Strong has a really nice game going here. He only has 1 open, which was a single pin miss in the 1st frame. Otherwise, he's been able to cover all of his spares or strike each frame, which is huge. Shot off the hand for Ivy Stevens. Just left a 4-7 there. I would love to see her pick this up. We've got another split on lane 6 from Eric McCulley. He's got the 4-6. Can't speak very well today. So he's got the 4-6 up there. Some people call this Grandma's Teeth for the split. Everything has a little bit of a weird name in bowling, but Grandma's Teeth is probably one of the more stranger ones to me. See if he's at least able to pick up one of these. He has also had a number of splits today. This was his 4th split of the game, and he unfortunately was not able to get any of them off there. We'll see how Jason McDaniel can recover for the Cyclones. Split for the Cyclone boys here on lanes 5 and 6. Jason McDaniel leaves the 3-10. Again, it's just a baby split, so it is a very makeable split. Yeah. Erickson was able to get a strike for the Cyclone girls, starting off the 8th frame strong. Love to see another one on the board for them. We've got Eden Raymond up on lane 4. Like I said earlier, she's very close to breaking her season high of 66, so she just needs 12 pins here. Would love to see her get those in the next few frames. Chase Meissner just finished up his 8th frame. Went for a single pin spare there on lane 5. He's got a nice spare ball for all of his spares that he shoots at. It is just a black ball with donuts on it, so kind of an interesting one to see, but always fun to see what people have for their spare balls. There's some fun ones out there, and you get to see a lot of those traveling for bowling tournaments and just seeing what people come up with. Eden Raymond got a nice 8 count on lane 4, so she's getting even closer to breaking that high game up 66, which again would just be awesome to see today. Caleb Ernst with his first split of the game on lane 6 here. He left the 2-4-10. So again, a very makeable spare if you just move your strike shot over and go Brooklyn on that like he's about to. And unfortunately just didn't get over quite far enough. Looks like Eden might get 1. Nope, it's going to curve to the left a little bit, but she is now sitting at a 62, so just 4 pins shy of tying that high game, and 5 pins shy of beating that. So again, we'd love to see that from her today. She is just a freshman, so lots of room for improvement over the next few years. Would love to see her stick with bowling, continue to grow as a bowler and a player. Just learning more about her game, getting more confident in herself. And you can already tell just from the first home meet that we had, she's tremendously improved, getting more comfortable, just listening to what coaches have to say, what her teammates say, and just seeing how she's improving throughout this season is just a lot of fun. Alright, Eric Lee is just getting pretty unlucky with these splits here on lanes 5 and 6 for the Harlan boys. Just another baby split, the 310. Again, very makeable. Would love to see him run this down. Like I mentioned earlier, it can get very discouraging to constantly throw those splits, not quite know what's going on because you're leaving something just a little bit different every time. So love to see them be able to figure this out, try something different in the 10th frame, and be prepared for that second game to come along. Awesome. Eric McCulley is able to run that down. Hopefully that gives him confidence to go into the 10th frame big. Maybe try something new, figure out if something needs to change going into that second game. Logan Strom just had a nice strike on lane 6 for the Cyclones to wrap up the 8th frame. Jason McDaniel is now coming off of a spare here on lane 5. We'll see if he's able to knock down some extra pins off of that spare. Comes away with a 9 count. We've got Andrea Reitfeld up on lane 4 for the Cyclone girls. That ball's going to come up and go right into the pocket for a nice strike. You could tell that she really was ready for that. Like I said, she was able to come away with the high series at the Red Oak tournament just last week. You might have seen her picture in the paper. She had a really great showing. So I know that she's looking to return to that, continue growing off of that win. Ivy's ball looked a little odd off of her hand. Wasn't quite where she wanted to place it. Didn't have the same rotation as her previous shots. But she was still able to come away with a 9 count. That ball looked much better off of her hand. She's going to be able to run that 3 pins down. Kenna Erickson is up on lane 3 for the Cyclone girls. She's going for an 2-pin conversion for the Cyclones, coming off of a strike. And the ball looks good, and she's going to be able to run that down, which is much needed with the girls. McKenna's high game this season is a 162 with a high 2-game series of 269. So she's one of our seniors, so she's been able to continue to improve. Her high 3-game series is actually a 304. Another split on lane 5 for Caleb Ernst, the second one in a row. Again, just a baby split, so we'd love to see him convert that. We've got Eden Raymond on lane 3. She threw a great ball, and she just beat her high game for the season, so that's very exciting. She got a 9 count. So she is now sitting at sorry, she's sitting at a 71. Ready, I think her teammates just congratulated her, as they also could tell that it was beating her high game of the season. So let's see if she can convert this 10 pin, and if not, she's still got another frame to continue to beat that high game that she just previously had. Doesn't look like it's going to get over there to grab that 10 pin, but regardless, a very good game for her, setting a new record for herself.
Not having too good a game here.
Swink had a much better ball here on lane 5. Still went a little Brooklyn, but he left the 136, and he's unfortunately just going to pick 2 off of that. Logan Strong's going to finish off the 9th frame for the boys on lane 5 here. Eric McCulley is going to get the 10th frame started here for the boys. Varsity girls on lanes 3 and 4 are about halfway through their 9th frame. We'll just finish up with their 10th, and we'll get started on the second game here. JV boys are also starting their 10th frame for the most part. It looks like Harlan Cece Christensen is leading us into the 10th frame on lane 8 over there. Right now, Harlan junior varsity boys are down 414 to OABCIG's 553. Again, each of those teams only has 5 bowlers, so what they have will stand. They won't be dropping any of those scores. Unfortunately, Logan just missed that 4 pin that he left on lane 5, so he's going to be going into the 10th frame with a 150, which is still a pretty good score. His season high is actually a 235 with a high 2-game series of 4-12. Eric McCulley finished his first game for the Cyclone boys with a 144 here on lanes 5 and 6. Going for her 9th frame here for the Cyclones. Tori Wallace up on lane 4 for the Falcons. She has a 3-bagger right now for strikes, and she's looking to make it a 4-bagger, but unfortunately going to come up short, just leaving a single 4-pin. Lane Howard finished with a 149 for the Falcons here on lanes 5 and 6, with Trevor Grader finishing with a 161. Much better ball on lane 6 for McDaniel. Started off with a gutter in the 10th frame on a 9 spare, which is never fun. He is going to have another shot here in the 10th frame for his extra ball. All right. The girls here on lane 3 and 4 are starting to wrap up their first game. Hope Gann for the Falcons just finished with a 117. And then McKenna Erickson is going to finish with a 99. time here for the Cyclones. She's currently sitting at a 74. So like I said, she already beat her high game of a 66 the last frame, which is awesome. Her teammates still will cheer for her there, just showing that they were very excited for her. So it's always a good feeling. So it looks like she's going to get a couple more pins to finish with. Scoreboard went away quick. She's going to finish with a 78, so she did improve her high game tremendously, which is always very exciting. Trying to write some scores down, and I keep writing them in the wrong spot, so that's always a good time. Just so I have them to go back on for reference the next game. Jaylee Williams for the Falcons finished with a 70, and then Shaylin Bloom finished with a 126. Bonnie Smith for the varsity boys finished with a 128. And looking at the Falcons varsity boys, we've got a 149, a 161, 162, 135, and a 141. Caleb's ball's just going to hang on. Like it was hanging on the one board there. He finished with a 165. Quiet Swanks just hoping that he can figure out where he needs to be for the second game. Still came up a little bit short to the pocket there. Needs to make a move, needs to adjust, take a minute to talk to his coaches during this little break and figure out just what needs to happen. Kendra Baker for the Falcons on lane 4 finished with a 146 today. Wyatt Swank with his first fill of the game, I can tell that there is a sign of relief on his face. Right now he's hitting at an 89, obviously. Can't break 100 now, but would love to go for that strike just to get a 99, just to finish close to 100. And he's going to do just that. Ellis Funky finishes with an 88 for the Cyclone varsity girls. Have yet to break 100 for a final game finish for the varsity girls, but looks like we have a couple coming. Logan Strong is up for the varsity boys here on lane 6 to finish up this first game, and looks like a good shot. And he was safe. Thought that 10 pin was going to stand up really fast, which wouldn't have been an easy thing. Lizzie Hoffman finished with a 163 for our first, for the Falcon varsity girls on lane 4, and now we've got Katie Stern up for the Cyclones. Tori Wallace finishes with a 172, which looks like it's the high for the girls' side of things today. Looks like that might be our high across the board, actually. High game for the Falcon boys was a 162. And Logan Strong's going to finish with a 170 on the nose.
Caleb, how you feeling after that one, bro?
And Katie Stern is going to finish with a 135.
Yep, he's good.
right, our varsity boys are already heading into their second game of the night here at Cyclone Lanes. We'll finish up the varsity girls game on lanes 3 and 4. We'll take a quick minute to thank our sponsors again. Sponsors for tonight are Pizza Ranch and Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keys Auto Center, Fairway and Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conducted Swampler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Mercy Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Again, thank you to our sponsors. All right, Andrew Reichelt finishes with a 129 for the varsity girls. So we've just got Ivy Stevens left to finish off for the girls. The boys, like I said, have already started into their second game. Strike on lane 6 for his second game. Just about didn't have that 7-pin fall, but he decided that it was time.
No way my score was so bad. Thomas had to make sure I actually got that out. Oh, that was really awesome.
Ivy Stevens going to really get off of her hand for that game. And she's just got a one count spare to shoot at tonight. Caleb is up to shoot at his 2-pin. It's really solid with those nine counts last game and those 1-pin spare conversions.
Thomas, what did Ivy finish with? 142.
All right, Ivy Stevens finished with a 142 for the Cyclone varsity girls. They are now kicking off their second individual game. McKenna Erickson up on lane 4. Solid start for the varsity boys here on lane 6. Wide swank with a 6 count. Very makeable 6 count spare conversion. It's got the 1, 3, 8, 10, or 9, 10, excuse me. And he's going to get it the hard way, it looks like. Oh, unfortunately, that 10-pin just didn't want to fall.
Already starting the 9th train.
All right, we've got Eden Raymond up on lane 4. I know she's probably excited to be coming off of that high game for herself in the first game. Unfortunately, not going to start this game off too hot. Put that first ball right in the gutter, unfortunately. But hopefully we can make a good comeback for the rest of this game. Just got to keep that arm straight, look a little bit further down the lane, follow through with those shots, and just keep your eye on the pin. That's the best thing you can do in these situations. Sometimes it is really easy to have the best game that you've ever pulled, in competition, and then kind of be on a high from that, not be able to perform your best during that second or third game, whatever it may be. Was able to get a 6 count after that rough start to her game. So now we've got Alyssa up for the Cyclones. She finished the first game with an 88. And I think I mentioned before, her high game for this year is a 137. Able to convert that spare on lane 4. And Jason McDaniel is only unfortunately going to get 3 out of 4 on his conversion on lane 5. Now we're looking at Donnie Smith, who is looking to double up on that strike he had in the first frame. Katie Stern up on lane 4 for the varsity girls. She's going to go Brooklyn and end with an 8 count. She's got a 3-pin with a sleeper 9-pin behind it. Donnie's ball looks pretty good. Unfortunately, it's not going to come up into the pocket at all. I can knock the head pin out of there, but it's still left the 4-5-7. Katie Stern looking for a little advice from her teammates and Coach Anderson about how to go about the sleeper. Those sleepers can be tough. Don't want to go about it the wrong way. Sometimes throwing a hook at it is the best way to pick it up, but sometimes it's also easier to just throw straight at it. So it just kind of depends on personal preference and what you're most confident in doing. Looks like she's going to decide to hook in at it. She's only going to knock that 3-pin off the front, and her ball's going to deflect the 9-pin. Kayla Burns has a nice ball off the hand on lane 5. Came up a little bit high. He's going to leave the 3-pin. Andrea Reitfeld with a very nice straight on line 4 for the varsity girls. And Caleb's going to hook into that spare, and he's going to run that 3-pin down. Like I said, 9 spare for a whole game is going to get you a 180. So any of these kids, I know they would take that for a game today. So we'll see what Caleb can do. Eric McCulley was up on lane 6 for the Cyclone boys. Started the third frame off with a bang. Got all 10 back, and he's having a pretty clean game so far in his first 3 frames. Stevens started her second game off with a 5-7 split on lane 4. We'll see if she's able to convert that. She's going to be able to knock. Thought she was going to get that 5-pin out of there. Unfortunately, she didn't get any of those. Raymond looks like she's going to get 1 off of there. Knocked a 10-pin off of that rack. And then Logan Strum just put all 10 back on lane 5 for the Cyclone varsity boys.
All over. Oh, yes.
Connie Smith up on lane 6, that 2-pin. We're not sure if it was going to fall over. It was wobbling quite a bit. So he only left the head pin. So it can be kind of tough to do that, but you see it happen more frequently than you would think. Eden is up on lane 3. She got a couple more pins off of that rack, so she's going to finish with a 4 count for the total of her second frame. And we are back to Caleb Ernst now that Donnie was able to convert that head pin. Alright, Caleb Ernst puts all 10 back again. Strong start to this third frame for the varsity Cyclone boys. something done right here on lane 6 this spring. It's easy to get frustrated with yourself, especially when you're used to averaging over 100 each game, and you come up short. That ball's going to be right in the pocket, and it's going to be all 10 back, which is awesome. Could tell he needed that. Confidence booster for sure. That 10 pin on lane 6 for Logan is wobbling. Unfortunately, just going to fall down before the rack came down to pick it up and cycle, but he's shot at a few of these before to pick them up, so I'm confident that he'll be able to do it this time around. If he can, that would be a clean frame on the lanes for varsity boys in his third frame. And he's going to run it down. So again, like I said, clean frame for the Cyclone varsity boys, which is much needed. Good confidence booster. Like I said, Wyatt Swank really needed that strike there just to help him get his confidence back, get more confident in this game, in this meet, and set him up for success for the next 7 frames. Andrea Wright just had a pretty good ball go Brooklyn over there on lane 3 for the varsity girls. Left a 3 pin. We'll see if she can run it down for the girls. Falcon varsity boys seem to be struggling a little bit more to find their spot this game. We have a strike on lane 6 from Lane Howard to start off the 4th frame. Before that, we got quite a few opens over there, a couple gutters here and there. Looks like they might be struggling with sliding a little bit. Chase Meisner was up there. He got a ball on the strike. Looks like he was sliding around a little bit. Also made that expression in practice. Just, hey, what am I doing wrong out here? Just sliding around. Just have to get used to it. Different approaches at different centers are going to vary, especially during the winter. Things can get a little bit slippery during the summer months. Synthetic approaches especially can get a little bit sticky. So we do have wood approaches here, so usually we don't see too much of a difference from season to season. Some of those newer centers, bigger centers that have upgraded to the synthetic approaches do see a little bit of a difference. So it can be a change when going from different centers for different needs, different occasions.
Never listen to me. You make me mad.
Eric Pulley up on lane 5 for the varsity boys, starting off frame 4 with a 5-10. That's only the second split for the Cyclone boys this game, which is a dramatic decrease from the first game, which we're not going to complain about. We'll take that. So he's got the 5-10 up there. Like I said before, this is a makeable. You don't get lucky every time, but you go Brooklyn on this, cross over to the left side where the head pin would be. Sometimes you can knock that 5 over and it'll slide right into the 10. Brooklyn lane 5 there, and that 9 pin again, it's just in the wobble, kind of like Logan's 10 pin did in the 3rd frame over there on lane 6. McKenna Erickson leading the girls into the 3rd frame for their 2nd game. She's going to leave a 5-7, so that's a popular one, either the 5-7 or the 5-10. We've seen that a few times today on different occasions. Jason kind of double dribbled that ball. It took off a little bit more than he had anticipated, so he's going to miss that 9. Donnie Smith is going to go right into the pocket and leave another 5-10. Really struggling to get that ball to move inward towards the head pin a little bit more. Just not hooking a lot for any of them when they shoot it like that. That's what tends to happen, depending on the angle that your ball is coming into the 1-3 pocket. It's going to determine if you leave that 5 pin or not, and unfortunately, that's kind of what we're seeing tonight. Eden Raymond up on lane 4, just left the 5-8, so another good count for her. I'd love to see her pick this up and stay strong and move towards maybe another high game for the day, but definitely a high series for her is coming up. I can feel it. Caleb Ernst up on lane 5, coming off of a strike in the 3rd frame. She's going to run that down. She just picked up that spare, which is awesome. All right, White Spank up in lane 5. Just left the 1-3. Would love to see him get to the pocket, pick that up. Fortunately, just misses that head pin again.
That's not good.
Jace McDaniel left the big 4 over on lane 6, which is the 4, 6, 7, 10. Not an easy split to get, and then Logan unfortunately leaves that 4, 6 Grandma's Teeth on lane 5. So a couple nasty splits for the Harlan boys here on 5 and 6 right now. Jason unfortunately does not get either of them. And yet another not so great split on lane 4 for Katie Stern. She left that 6, 7, 10. Always good to just go for the count on those splits. Obviously, if you've got just a split with 2 pins, you're just going to go for 1 for the most part, depending on the size of the split and your ability to possibly pick that up. Katie Stern does go for the count on lane 4. Caleb up on lane 6, coming off of a double. And we'll see if he can go for the 3-bagger there. Unfortunately, he's going to go for a washout. So he's got the 1, 2, 4, 10. Again, this is a makeable pickup. Just going to have to go Brooklyn, cross over to that 1-2 pocket instead of the 1-3 for a righty. And hope that either the 1 or 2 pin slides over and knocks out the 10 pin. Unfortunately, she did not get any bigger count on the spare there. She threw the first ball in the gutter, but then ended up with a 5 count, so she's sitting at a 25 in the 4th frame. I Ivy Stevens threw it a little bit Brooklyn, crossed over and didn't even get the head pin out of there. So she's got the 1-3-10 to shoot at right now. Again, a couple different ways you can go at this. We'll see if she decides to go the hard way and go Brooklyn, or just go for the pocket and see if that 3-pin will shoot it out. Went Brooklyn a little bit. Was able to convert that, and Wyatt Swank was able to convert his 5-count conversion and get the spare in frame 5 for the Cyclone boys. Logan Strom is going to finish off the 5th frame for the boys. They are now halfway through their 2nd game, and he's going to unfortunately have a stone 8 right there. It was a really good ball. Might have been a little light as it didn't knock out and go all the way through that 8 pin. Able to convert that 8-pin. Then we've got Katie Stern up on lane 3, just left a 2-4-5. Up on lane 5 for the varsity boys. He also left a 2-4-5. We'll see if he's able to run that down. And then we've got Avery Wright-Bell up on lane 3 for the varsity girls, and she left a 1-2. Andrew's going to be able to knock off that 1-2. And Eric's unfortunately only going to get 1 off of that. He just picked the 5 off of his leave. Be nice to see Jason McDaniel put something back right here. Hasn't had a fill since the 3rd frame. Looks like he's going to go Brooklyn. Leave a 6-pin. Ivy Stevens unfortunately got a miss on that 1st frame. And it looks like we have a ball stuck again on lanes 5 and 6, so we'll take a quick break from our coverage of the varsity boys. Our JV boys are already in their 6th frame. They might be finishing first. Our varsity girls are finishing up frame 4. We've got Tori Wallace up for the Falcons on lane 4. She's coming off of a 7 spare. She actually had the high game across the boys and the girls for the first game with a 172. right, we'll get back on the Cyclone lineup on lane 4 with McKenna Erickson up starting the second half of the game with the frame. All right, Jason McDaniel's able to convert that 5-pin there and start off the 6th frame with a 9 spare for him. And I've got Donnie Smith coming off of a dry spell there with a split and a miss and a 7-2 count. Hopefully our boys can find some more momentum going into the second half of this game, leading into Baker. And now we've got Eden Raymond up on lane 4 for our varsity girls and Caleb Ernst up on lane 5 for our varsity boys. This ball looks pretty good. It's going right down the middle of the lane. She is going to get a 7 count there. Caleb came away with a 9 count, just leaving the 7-pin there. We'll see if he's able to convert it. And a really nice strike by Elise Wilcox on lane 6 there. Our junior varsity boys, starting off the 7th frame, they are sitting at a 293 to the Falcons 329. Caleb's ball doesn't come up quite enough to knock down that 7th pin. That's his first open in a while. Got Alyssa Funky up on lane 4 for our varsity girls, and she's going to walk away with a 9 count, just leaving the 7-pin there. Wyatt Smythe up on lane 5. He went a little bit Brooklyn for a strike to start off his 6th frame. Much better start to this game for Wyatt. And Jason McDaniel up on lane 6 for the start of his 7th frame. Left a 7, or got a 7 count there, just left the 3-6-10. Looks like Alyssa is going to run that 7-pin down. And then we've got Logan Strom up on lane 5 for our varsity boys. Going to walk away, just leaving the 4-pin there. Looks like his thumb might be bothering him a little bit. Maybe coming out of the ball a little too tight. Find a solution for that, hopefully, if that's the case. All right, and Logan's able to knock off that 4-pin and finish off the 6th frame for the Cyclone boys. And Donnie Smith with a strike on lane 6 for his 7th frame. Now we're back to Caleb Ernst, looking to come back after a 9 and a miss in the 6th frame. All right, Andrea Beckman just had a really nice strike on lane 4 for the Cyclone girls, and Caleb was just shy of leaving a 5-7 split on lane 6 for the varsity boys. Got another 10 or 7-pin up there for him to shoot at. Left a 4-pin the last frame. See if he can adjust, as he did miss that 4-pin to the right. Ball just didn't quite come up enough. Ivy Stevens up on lane 4 for the varsity girls, just left a 6-pin. And Eden Raymond up on lane 3 for the girls. Ball's going pretty straight there, and she is going to get a 9 count there. unfortunately misses that single pin spare on lane 4. She's looking to get a few more frames in going into the second half of this game. Only has a strike and a spare. Unfortunately, just hasn't been able to cover those spares or keep the ball on the lane that first ball, which is not helping her case right now. Hopefully we'll see a few adjustments made. Looks like Eden Raymond might just pick up this 5-pin on lane 3. And she's going to, which is awesome. Eden also might break her high 2-pin series, which is just a 127. She's already sitting at a 120 right now for the day, which is awesome. 7 more pins until she can tie that, and we're only starting the 6th frame, so she's still got a few more chances and to work off of that spare that she had, which would be great. Logan Strong is up on lane 6 for the varsity boys. Knocked that 5-pin out of there, so he doesn't have a split to shoot at, which is always a good feeling. Seen a lot of those today, though, between the 5-7 and the 5-10. Just not quite get through the 5-pin, which causes us to leave those corner pins in that 5-pin. The ball just doesn't quite come up enough to get through it all. Logan pulls that ball a little bit too far to the left. Misses that 7-pin. Hopefully can recover easily in the 8th frame for the boys. Got Andrea Wright-Felt coming off of a single strike in the 5th frame on lane 3, so we'll see if she's able to double up on that, which would be great for the varsity girls. And she's going to go Brooklyn, and she's going to get it. Alright, Ivy Stevens is really struggling over here on lane 3 for the varsity girls. Just can't seem to figure out what's going on in that first ball. She's throwing it off into that right gutter on her first ball. It's the 2nd time I believe it's happened this game, but it did happen also a couple times that first game, which is just unfortunate because it is really easy to overcompensate for that in your second shot. Pulling the ball a little too far to the left, going Brooklyn, and then still missing that head pin on the second shot. So mentally it can be a lot, so to be able to overcome that this late in the game would be great before we're heading to it.
Which is awesome. Well, you wouldn't think so.
Erica Gully up on lane 5 for the varsity boys. Shooting at a 5-pin right now. Looks like it's going to stay on and grab that.
The only difference is
Alright, as we are about halfway through this second game on all accounts, we'll take a quick minute to thank our sponsors again. Our sponsors for the 2024-2025 season is Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keys Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Kentucky Swampler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Virtue Medical Center, Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Again, thank you to our sponsors.
Well, I know how much is it. So it's basically
little bit on lane 5. Misses the head pin to the left. He's coming off of a double, so it'll be good to see him run this one down.
They said the biggest thing on mine is muzzle. Replace the brushes.
And he's not going to be able to come up and get that head pin off of there. Knocks a 3 down, but not the head pin. I've got Caleb Ernst coming up on lane 5. And McKenna Erickson is finishing up her 7th frame on lane 4. Just going for the 4-count conversion. And she has a good chance of getting this. Unfortunately, misses that 2 pin. Next, we'll see Eden Raymond. Again, she's very close to breaking her 2-game series for this season. She's got a 42 in the 6th, looking to add some count to that off of her first ball after the spare. Caleb goes up and leaves a 2-4-10. Again, not the easiest one to convert, but still very possible. Eden went ahead and got a 7 count on her spare, so she's sitting at a 49 in the 6th frame. Is a very makeable spare. We'll see if she's able to convert it tonight. Looks like Caleb pulled that ball a little too much. Just unfortunately not even going to get the count on that here in the 8th frame for the varsity boys. Eden converts the spare. Alright, she might just break her first game, which was her high score with a 78. She still has a chance to break that. She's sitting at a 59 in the 7th frame. If she can get any count on that first ball in the 8th frame, we're going to be sitting pretty good.
The only thing I didn't like about
and Wyatt is going to run that 9 pin down on lane 5. Really needed that confidence boost. He's been on quite the run here now, later in the second game. Already beat his first game, which was only a 99. I knew that he was frustrated. It was pretty evident he's been bowling for quite a while, so it's hard to bowl a game like that and come back from it. Logan Strom goes up and it's a Brooklyn strike. Much needed after his 9 miss in the last frame. We are heading into the 9th frame here on the varsity boys side of things. And then our girls are just starting their 8th frame here on lanes 3 and 4. Junior varsity boys are about halfway done with their 9th frame in their second game, so they'll get a little bit of a break before we head into Baker. Jason McDanielson's a messenger to knock out that 5 pin and get a strike in the 9th frame here today. Katie Stern is able to convert her spare there on lane 4. We've got Raymond up again on lane 3. We'll see if she's able to get some good count on her 7th spare from the 7th frame. Unfortunately, that's headed right for that left gutter. We'll see if she's able to get some good count to make up for that here on the second ball. Andrea Wright-Phillips up on lane 4, looking to triple up on that, and she does. She's got a nice little 3-bagger going for her. Much better game going now for majority of the Cyclone girls. Eden hangs on just to get one of those pins. She's sitting at a 60 now. And we've got Caleb Ernst up again on lane 6 for the varsity boys. Coming off of a tough 8th frame. We'll see if he's able to redeem himself here with all 10. Not quite. Got a 9 count there. Left the 10 pin. See if he's able to convert this.
Catch it!
Caleb put that out a little bit wide, went right into the right gutter there. Wasn't able to make it fully down the lane before it slipped into the gutter. So he's struggling a little bit now on 2 opens. 3 opens total this game.
I'm actually looking good. But you would think they would, yeah. I mean, what's
Just a baby split here on lane 6. Got the 310 up there. Katie Stern walks away from her 8th frame with a strike on lane 3. We've got Andrea Reitfeld up. She's coming off of a 3-bagger, so we'll see if she's able to put another 10 back for a 4-bagger, which would be awesome for our Cyclone girls tonight.
oh, yeah. Better than nothing. Better than nothing.
Unfortunately, Andrea Reitfeld let go of that a little bit wide, and it went into the gutter about halfway down the lane. So we'll see if she's able to get some count on this second ball to help her score a little bit. All right, she got an 8 count on there. That's very good still. And Logan's got a 9 count here on lane 6 for the varsity boys for his 9th frame first ball. Aaron Pulley starts off his 10th frame with a strike, going up for a second shot on the 10th frame. And looks like he's going to go Brooklyn here and knock off 10 back again. He's currently sitting at a 166, which means he's already beat his second game.
Yeah, one, I don't know,
Eric McCauley is going to go right in there. All right. Eric McCauley finishes with a 176 for his second game. We'll see what Jason McDaniel can do. He's already beat his first game, finished with a 109 his first game. Already had that beat in the 9th frame now. Nice conversion by Lane Howard on lane 6, had a 278. He's got one more shot left in the 10th frame for his extra ball off the spare. Jason McDaniel's ball unfortunately comes up a little heavy there. He's going to finish with a 134. Tony Smith is going to go for the inland strike for his first ball of the 10th frame. Sitting at a 136 right now. He'll have 2 more shot attempts in the 5th frame now. JV boys have just finished their second game. Zeke Christensen finished with a 125. Eric Bunke finished with a 73. Jacob Went finished with a 79. Lucas Kieslick finished with a 116. And Paul Mars just finished with a 91. that 8-count, or that 2-count spare for strike, 8-count and a miss, finishing with a 144, which still was higher than his first game of a 128. So far all of our boys have improved from their first to their second game. Our girls are still working on their 9th frame over there, so we'll just stay in tune with the boys as they finish up this 10th frame, and we'll get back to the girls as they get closer to finishing up their second game as well. We'll take a quick break before Baker's start up to finalize scores, get rosters set for what our first Baker game is going to look like, and we'll go from there. Ernst started with a 7-count in his first 12 frame. He's got a 1, 2, 4 up there. Hopefully he's able to run this down. Oh, hung onto that ball a little bit too long. Still going to be able to convert that. Looks like it's stuck on his thumb a little bit. Almost didn't hit the lane until it got to the arrows. I can tell he's a little frustrated about that shot.
Who's the fan?
Wyatt, how are you doing?
Alright, if Caleb gets a 9-count, he's going to tie his last game of 165, gets a strike, he's going to beat that first game by 1, so let's see what he can do. And he's going to get 8, so going to miss that by 1, and he's going to drop 1 from his last game, but still very consistent.
Get in there, get in there. Chase Meisner's going to finish with a 135 for our OBACIG Falcons. Wyatt finished, Wyatt Spike for the Cyclones finished with a 138. All of those animations on the board. It takes a while to figure out what the actual score was sometimes. Alright, Logan Strom's first ball of the 10th frame is going to be a 9-count, going to leave a stone cold 7. Logan unfortunately misses that 7-pin and finishes with a 151 for our boys. They will take a little break before starting Baker, make any adjustments they need to do, and go for any ball changes they might decide to make before heading into Baker. Our varsity girls are just starting their 10th frame. We've got McKenna Erickson up on lane 3, shooting at a 6-pin. And we've also got Katie Stern on lane 4, finishing up her 9th frame. First ball of her 9th frame is going to be a washout. So she's got the 3, 6, 7, 10 to shoot at. Best way to go about this is just kind of, for her sake, move to the left of the boards, move her strike shot from the 1-3 pocket to the 3-6 pocket. McKenna Erickson finishes her second game for the varsity girls. Katie picks up that washout on lane 4 for the varsity girls, which is an awesome finish for her 9th frame. Sets her up in a good position for her 10th frame. And McKenna Anderson finished with a 99, which is also what she had the last game. So consistency right there. Now we've got Eden Raymond up on lane 3. And Andrea Wrightfeld up on lane 4.
I hear you over here. I'm trying to figure out. Right next to the 732 in the red. Number to the left of that. It's in the black. Oh, okay. 1722. That's the total number.
All right, Eden Raymond starts off the 10th frame with a miss. So we'll see if she's able to get any count on her second ball in the 10th frame. Amy Stevens looking to set herself up for a strong 10th frame and a strong finish for the second game. She's been struggling a little bit today. Much better ball by Ivy Stevens on lane 4, right in the pocket, which is exactly what she needed. Until there's a little bit of frustration there. Hopefully this gives her some confidence going into the 10th frame and starting Baker off strong. Eden Raymond's going to get a little bit of a count here. On lane 3, she's going to finish with a 75, which is awesome. Those are her 2 high games of the season. So, great place to be. Also means that she has a new high series for the season. All right, Alyssa Monkey starts her 10th frame off with a 9 count, leaves a 10 pin out there. All right, looking at our standings going into Baker, our varsity boys are sitting at a 716 and our opponent is 748. As far as our varsity girls, we have a 593 to their 724. We'll wait for the second game to be put in and we'll see what we go from there. Alyssa Monkey finishes with a 125 for our varsity girls. Alright, Katie comes off that washout pickup and strikes for her first ball of her 10th frame. She'll now have 2 more shot attempts to see what else she can do to get that score a little bit higher. She had a 135 her first game, and she already has that beat with a 139 right now, plus whatever count she gets in the next 2 throws. All right, she's going to walk away with an 8 count there. Just leaves the 6-10. They only have 5 bowlers. They only have 5 bowlers.
Oh, okay, so we got to throw one of ours out.
Yep, we'll throw our low singles out. All right, Katie unfortunately misses that, and he's going to finish with a 147. All right, Andrea Wrightfeld is now up for our varsity girls. We're just about done with this 10th frame. Looking at the Falcons varsity girls, we have Hope Gann, who finished with a 76. Jaylee Williams, who finished with a 108. And Shaylee Bloom, who's going to finish with a 136. Andrea Wrightfeld was able to start her 10th frame off with a strike. So again, she's also already beat her first game score. We're looking at a 149 right now plus the count, so a 158, I believe. Pardon me if my math is wrong. Alright, Andrew's going to finish with a 159 for her second game. And Ivy Stevens is going to finish off the varsity girls here. Ivy's first ball is going to be a little light to the pocket. She's going to get a 7 count still, so she's got a 2, 4, 8. Kendra Baker for the Falcons finished with a 133 for her second game. And looks like Ivy is going to miss that one a little bit to the right. Didn't quite make the right adjustment for that. She's going to finish with a 102. Alright, we have Lizzie Hoffling up for the Falcons. She's just coming off of a spare in the 10th. And she's going to put all 10 back and finish with a 128. Alright, Tori Wallace is going to be the last bowler to finish up her individual games. Starts with a 7 count. Unfortunately, kind of came down from her first game of 172. Struggling a little bit this game.
Yeah, Tori!
Alright, as we finish up the second game of individuals before heading into Bakers, we'll just thank our sponsors one more time real quick before we go into the break. Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keys Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do Best Hardware, Conductor Twinkler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Holly Jones Funeral Home, Murty Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Thank you to our sponsors. Tori Wallace finished with a 119 for her second game. We'll take a quick break as they get the lanes ready for Baker, and we'll be right back shortly.
Total we meet.
Right over here. She got her. TJ's got ours.
very quick break tonight as we do need to finish up the meet before we have a league tonight here. So we're just going to go ahead and get started right away with our Baker portion. Again, if you're new to high school bowling, the Baker format is we have a bowler that bowls the first and sixth frames, second and seventh, third and eighth, and so on. So you're going to start with your leadoff. You want your leadoff to be a strong bowler and just kind of go from there. Then, of course, your fourth and fifth frames are also going to have your two of your stronger bowlers just to ensure that you're getting the most pins towards the end of the game when it counts. So for our varsity boys, our leadoff is going to be Caleb Ernst. Just went up for an 8 count. And then we've got McKenna Erickson up on lane 3 for our varsity girls. She got a 9 count and just left 5 pin. She's going to go ahead and run that down. Made a big showing for our girls side here during Baker. Next up for the Harlan girls, we've got Alyssa Funky. And Caleb Ernst is going to run down that 2-pin conversion on lane 5. Jason McDaniel is up for the varsity boys in the 2 spot. Going to bring that outside a little far. It's not going to come up too much, and he's only going to walk away with a 5 count there on the spare. Smith is up as the third bowler for the Harlan boys. Again, walks away with just a 4 count. Legacy gets a higher pin count here on the boys' side. We've also got Katie Stern up on lane 3 for our girls. She also just got a 5 count there. So if you can see some bigger count, this is where it matters. Donnie's going to walk away with just getting 2 off of that count. And Katie's going to walk away just getting 3. Got Eric McCulley up on lane 5 now. The OBACIG boys are getting a little jazzed right now. They've got a double going into their 5th frame, which is huge. So they've got a lot of, going into their 6th frame. So that's huge. Good count is always a momentum sealer. It's really easy to get ahead of yourself. In Baker, sometimes you just have to remember to slow down and do what's best for you and your team. Our boys are struggling. We don't have a strike yet. As you can tell, we're only in our 4th frame as they are getting ready to finish their 6th. So, like I said, easy to get ahead of yourself in Baker when you're bowling well. So sometimes you gotta take that momentum and just slow it down a little bit and refocus and make sure that you're staying on the right track. Eric McCulley, he gets his spare, and then we've got Ivy Stevens. She was bowling 4 for the varsity girls, and she converted her spare. Now we've got Andrea Wrightfeld up in the 5 spot, and Logan Strom up in the 5 spot for the boys. Logan's going to go Brooklyn, and is going to leave that 10 pin there. Andrea is going to come up a little bit low and not quite get to the head pin. Going to leave a 1-2-4. Logan's going to miss that 10 pin for the Cyclone boys. Hopefully Caleb Ernst can get up there and regroup our boys. They only had 2 fills in the first half of that game. Andrea Wrightfeld knocks down that the 1-2-4 on the girls' side, setting McKenna Erickson up for a strong 6th frame. able to put all 10 back there and start the girls off strong for that second half. Caleb unfortunately misses his spare in the 6th frame. Got to get some momentum going for the boys. They're really struggling right now. Just need to find what's going to work best as far as a lineup. We might be making some changes after this first game. Melissa Funky goes up and gets a 7 count for the varsity girls. Just looking at some of their stats from earlier this year. Looks like for Bakers, our boys high Baker game is going to be 187 for varsity boys. Varsity girls, their high is a 183, and then our JV boys, their high game is a 180. So all within 7 pins of each other. So just something to look at. Hopefully we can see maybe one of those records get broken today. Would love to see a 200 game, and I know Coach Kurtz and Coach Anderson would also love to see one of those up on the board. So we'll see if we can regroup after this first game and get something put together for our teams and see what we can do the last 4 bigger games. Struggling a little bit after the 7th and 8th frames. Ivy Stevens is going to go up and get a 9 count, just leaving a 6 pin. Then we've got Eric McCulley up in the 9th frame for the varsity boys. He left a 7 pin, and he's going to be able to run that down, it looks like. Setting Logan Strom up for a strong 10th frame. Logan was unfortunately unable to convert his spare in the 5th frame. So hopefully looking for a little bit of redemption here. Maybe a couple strikes would be nice. The OABCIG Falcons varsity boys finished with a 152 that first paper game. Logan gets the first one. And Ivy's going to run down her spare in the 9th frame. The Falcon varsity girls, they just finished their first game. Logan able to put back another strike for the varsity boys here on lane 5. And Andrea with a 7 count in the first ball of the 10th frame. Falcon varsity girls finished with a 103 for their first Baker game. So we got a few pins back right there. Standings after the first 2 games, Harlan has a 1485 on the varsity boys side and a 1480 for the varsity Falcons boys. We'll wait for the scores to kind of go back again.
Thomas, can you write down standings for me? I can't look back and read them. Yeah.
Hi, Ivy.
All right, our Harlan varsity boys finished with a 142 that first Baker game. And our varsity girls finished with a 139. Caleb Ernst starts off the boys with a strike for their second game of Baker here. And we've got a lineup change for the varsity girls. We've got Alyssa Funky starting us off in leadoff. And then we've also got Wyatt Swank in the two-man spot for our varsity boys. He's going to find the pocket, and he's still only going to get a 7 count, unfortunately, left to 4, 5, 7. Alyssa's unfortunately not going to be able to get any of the pins from her split, but Wyatt was able to convert all 3 on his split on lane 6.
Yeah.
The boys off the 3rd frame with a strike. Getting some momentum going for the boys. They're getting a little bit louder. And McKenna Erickson up for the varsity girls on lane 4. Starts with a 7 count. And Eric McCauley up for the varsity boys. He's going to go right into the pocket and left a 5 pin. Thank you. All right, just looking here, I had somebody grab me some scores for where the standings are at right now. So our Harlan varsity boys are sitting at a 1485. OABACIG boys are sitting at a 1632. Harlan varsity girls are at a 1225, and Falcon girls are at a 1316. Our Harlan junior varsity boys are sitting at a 995, excuse me, and the Falcon junior varsity boys are sitting at a 1240. So far, we got a clean game from our varsity boys. Logan Strom up in the 5th frame with a 2-8 left on the lane. And they've got Katie Stern on lane 4 for our varsity girls. She's got a little bit of a fence out there, and she's gonna get all 4. And Logan runs down that sleeper. Gets the 8 spare. So now we're back to the start of the lineup with Caleb Ernst taking us into the second half of this 2nd game. And we've also got Ivy Stevens up in the 4th spot on the women's side on lane 4. Coming off of a spare in the 3rd frame. We'd love to see some good count. She's going to go ahead and get a Brooklyn strike. We're going to go ahead and take it. And then we have Caleb Ernst. He got a 8 count over on lane 6, just leaving the 6-10. Andrea Rentfeld is up for our varsity girls on lane 4. She's just going to knock 3 of them off there. We'll see if she's able to convert this. This could be a little bit tough, especially when you're missing that 9 hit back there. Caleb, unfortunately, picks the 10 off that 6-10. So we're looking at Wyatt Swank now, hoping he can revive them. Looks like we just had a pinfall, though, so he's going to reset, hopefully regroup a little bit. Andrea was able to get another 4 count on her 5th frame, so now we're back to the beginning of the lineup for the varsity girls. Little Funky up for the girls on lane 4. Bliss was only able to grab one of them off of her leave on lane 4. Got some deadwood on lane 6. We got somebody going down to grab that out of there.
before Wyatt throws. Got Jake Dotzler on the run. He was a bowler, graduated 5 years ago, which is crazy. Feels like that makes me look pretty old. But he was one of the bowlers for the varsity boys for all 4 years in high school. He helps us out doing some lane work for my dad here at the bowling alley. All the work was worth it, as Wyatt was able to come away with a strike for the boys in frame 7 there. So now we're back to Donnie Smith, and we're going into the 8th frame. We've got Katie Stern up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. And Katie's going to go Brooklyn, and she's going to leave a 5-pin. Unfortunately, Katie did not convert that 5-pin there, so we're back to Ivy. She's going to hopefully set Andrea up for a big 10th frame. We'd love to see all 10 again from Ivy. Eric McCauley up for the varsity boys on lane 6, going into the 9th frame there. And Ivy is going to get a 9 count there, just leaving a 10-pin. Falcon varsity boys are going to finish that second game with a 135. Logan with a nice 9 count for our 10th frame here in the second game. Just leaves a 4-pin. And Andrea Wright was up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. Got a 6 count in the 10th frame. Looking to convert this to get a few extra pins on third ball in the 10th. Unfortunately, it only converts 2 of those. So varsity girls are going to finish with a 109 that game. The Falcon varsity girls finish with a 140 that game. The varsity boys are going to finish with a 180.
Caleb, you wouldn't have beat it. It's a 187. Yeah.
Caleb, come on!
They go over there about a point.
Caleb, keep it going now. I can believe.
All right, we're headed into the third game of Baker. We have McKenna Erickson up as leadoff for the girls on lane 3. Caleb Ernst up as leadoff on lane 5 for the boys. Crossed over that head pin over
So this is a toughie. It's a 6 count, so you've got 4 out there, but you've got a sleeper. That 8 pin is a little bit to the left. It can be a little difficult to pick this one up. It just depends on how you approach it. Kenna Erickson was able to convert her spare on lane 3, so we've got Eden Raymond going up in the second frame for varsity girls here. Eden threw a nice ball. It's going to go straight down the middle. She's going to be able to get an 8 count. And Caleb was able to convert his spare there. I've got White swing up in the second frame. White swing pulled that a little to the left. So he's got a 7 count to convert now. Eden going up to see if she can knock down that 6-10 that she left on lane 3. And she might just get there. Oh, this angle's hard to read. Donnie Smith up for the varsity boys on lane 5. He's going to go for a flip and get a strike. And we've got Katie Stern up on lane 3 for the varsity girls. She has a 156 left up there. That's going to be a tough one to convert. And Eric McCulley up on lane 5, looking to double up for the varsity boys. And looks good. It just isn't going to come up quite enough. So he's got a 4 count to shoot at. He's got the 2, 4, 5, 8 there today. And Katie Stern is going to knock off 2 out of her 7 count on lane 3. So she'll finish with a 9 count overall for the frame. And now we've got Ivy Stevens up in the 4th frame.
There it is.
All right, Logan Strom up on lane 5, converting the 10 pin. Then we've got Andrea Whitefeld as our anchor on lane 3 for the varsity girls. Logan's ball came up just a little bit. He missed that 10 pin. Andrea Whitefeld also just left a 10 pin, so we'll see if she's able to convert it. And hopefully Caleb Ernst can get some momentum going for the boys again. They're on 3 opens this game. Andrea runs down that 10 pin on lane 3. It was a great pickup. And Caleb is stuck with a 6-10 on lane 5. His spare shooting has been really good today, so I'm confident that he'll be able to run that down. And there we go, we put that right back. Got McKenna Erickson up again on lane 3 for the varsity girls. Just another 6 count, it looks like. Got the 1, 2, 5, 9, it looks like.
Get in there, get in there.
You got this line.
We've got Eden Raymond up again on lane 3 for our varsity girls. She's been bowling really well tonight. Fortunately, can't get that ball to hang on, and it goes into the left gutter. But we've got Donnie Smith on lane 5 for our varsity boys. He's going to get a 9 count. Falcon boys are definitely getting in a groove for this third game. They've got a 170 with 2 more balls on the 10th frame. Much better second ball for Eden. On lane 3, she's going to get a 9 count. Eric McCulley up on lane 5 for our varsity boys, right in the pocket. Really needed that there. Hopefully Logan's able to double up on that going into the 10th frame. We've got Katie Stern up on lane 3 for our varsity girls going into frame 8. She's going to cross over a little bit onto the left-hand side. She's going to leave it 3-10. Logan Strum's ball looks real good. Goes in a little heavy, but still punches all 10 out. That was a tough break for Logan on lane 5. Left a 4-6-7. Just go for count here. And Katie Stern is able to convert that 3-10 on lane 3. Which sets Ivy Stevens up for a opportunity to get a good count in the 9th frame. For our varsity girls, they're only sitting at an 85 right now. Varsity boys are going to finish with a 136 that third game, excuse me. Ivy gets a 9 count and leaves a 10 pin in the 9th frame. The OABC IG varsity girls finish with a 120 for their third game. All right, now we've got Andrea Whitefeld up in the 10th frame, excuse me, for our varsity girls. She's gonna kind of go through the nose on that one, it looked like from my view, and leave the 6-10. And Andrea's going to miss that 6-10. The girls are going to finish with a 111 that game. Heading into our 4th game of Bakers. Like I said, there's going to be 5 of those tonight. These are much quicker pace, move along quite quickly. Like I said, we do have VEG at 7 tonight, so I'll be the one out on the lanes here in about 45 minutes. So going to be a long night here at Cyclone Lanes, but it's always fun to spend some time here. All right, we've got Caleb Ernst in leadoff still for our varsity boys on lane 6 here. Kind of fell out of his pose there, but he's still going to strike. All right, we have Wyatt Swank in the 2 spot still. Our junior varsity boys are having a really great game for their 3rd
Baker game. They've got 4 strikes in a row, which is awesome. They're getting a little hyped over there, which is always fun to see. Just about had 5 in a row, but fortunately Lucas Pueslick just had to have that stone 8 there, but it was a really good ball off of his hand. That was going to be a crazy Yahtzee. They got 5 in a row. McKenna Erickson is bowling leadoff again for our varsity girls. She's got a 9 count over there, and Wyatt unfortunately just missed that 6 pin that he left on lane 6. So we'll see if Donnie Smith is able to get us going again and get that momentum back up. Looks like McKenna's going to be able to convert that spare over on lane 4, so then it's going to be Alyssa Funky up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. Alyssa Funky just left a 5 pin for our girls on lane 4. And Donnie unfortunately missed that 6 pin in frame 3. Looking for Eric McCauley to get our boys moving a little bit better here. Eric McCauley gets right into the pocket and puts all 10 back for a Cyclone strike. Now we've got Logan Strom up, looking to double, get our boys back on track. Katie Stern up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. And unfortunately that just did not come off of her hand right, and she put that in the gutter. And Logan's ball looks good, and just a stone 8-10 split right there. He was very surprised that even happened. It was a very good ball right in the pocket. Might have come up a little low, but still looked like a great shot. Katie comes back and gets a 7 count after her first ball. And Logan gets a 1 count on that split. So looking for Caleb Ernst to get the momentum going again with a strike like he did in the first frame. And then we've got Ivy Stevens up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. Really need to get some momentum going over there. She's going to go Brooklyn and leave a 10 pin. Looks good. Caleb's ball came up a little bit high, went through the nose, and he left a 3-6-10 over there. And Ivy is going to run that 10 pin down. Got Andrea Wright-Pelt up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. And she's going to go Brooklyn and leave a 5 pin. And Caleb's going to run down about 3-6-10. Like I said, just need some momentum for our boys over here on lane 6. They lost some pins the last game. And same for our girls. Not looking like we might come away with a win tonight, but they definitely fought through some struggles. There was sometimes that I could tell that they wanted to give up a little, but they've all persevered, powered through, and found something to work to at least get through the night. They can revisit this in practice either tomorrow, or I'm sure they'll have practice tomorrow since there's a meet on Monday. Wyatt Smith's able to get that 5 pin on lane 6, setting Donnie Smith up for his 8th frame. Kenna Erickson is up on lane 4 for our varsity girls. She just got a 4 count, so I'd love to see her run this down, get the ladies going again on lane 4. Donnie Smith had a weird shot there on lane 6. The head pin fell very late, so he's got a 2-9. This is a weird one. I don't even know how I would shoot at this necessarily. You might want to go Brooklyn, see if you can get that 2 pin on the left side, see if it'll kick back and knock the 9 out. Otherwise, if you hit it on the left side, it might deflect and hit the 9. Up on lane 6 for our varsity boys, just left A6-10. Varsity girls are struggling, not getting very high counts on those first balls, which is always very important. It's easier to shoot at a spare that's 1 or 2 pins versus one that's 5 pins or split. So I'd love to see them get some more count here in the next couple of frames and all of game 5, just to put them in a good spot, get their confidence up a little bit, especially before heading into their meet on Monday. Eric McCulley shoots at that 6-10 on lane 6, and unfortunately misses that to the left as well. Easy to tell, people are getting a little bit tired. It is hard. We haven't had a whole lot of home meets this year. Just one more to go after this, so we've only had one other home meet. Still getting adjusted. It can be hard to be on the road and then come home after a few tournaments and meets on the road. So we'll see if they're able to pull something together on Monday when we will run over for senior night. We've got Ivy Stevens up on lane 4, going into the 9th frame of ladies' 4th game. She's going to go Brooklyn and leave the 3 pin. The 9 and the 6 pin kind of fell late. Logan's able to run down that 4-7, and he's going to go into the 10th frame with one more shot for the 3rd ball of the 10th frame. Ivy's shooting at her 3 pin on lane 4, and unfortunately that ball just hooks up a little too much, and she misses that to the left. And then gets another 8 count. The boys are going to finish the game. Of course, it went away again, and I can't remember what they were at. Too much back and forth. So the varsity Falcon boys finished with a 150, and our boys finished with a 137. Andrea Wrightfeld up in the 10th frame and leaves another stone cold 8-10. Really struggling to get through the nose. I feel like a lot of our balls for our righties, basically all of them, not many lefties out there anymore, it feels like. So just not getting through the 5 pin quite well, which leads us to missing that 8 pin. 5 pin is kind of what drives into that 8 pin to get that out of there. So that 8-10 is going to be very common when you don't quite punch through the 5 pin like you should. So our varsity girls are going to finish with a 95 for their 4th game, and the OBACIG varsity girls have finished with a, let's see what it says. Didn't do my math well enough. With a 114. So going into the 5th game for our varsity boys over here on lanes 5 and 6, Eric McCulley is in leadoff, and he's going to go Brooklyn and leave a 3-9.
Yep.
What's the rest of the order?
I'm working on it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
shoot at that sleeper, and he's only going to get that 3 out of there. That is a tough one.
Come on, Jason.
Jason McDaniel's going to go ahead and 10 pin's going to fall, but he's still stuck with a 1-3-8 up there.
All right, you got this, Jason.
Looks like our varsity girls are still deciding on a lineup with Coach Anderson, trying to figure out what needs to be done. Let's see what they decide here. Looks like Katie Stern is going to be our leadoff. Jason was able to get 2 of those out of his 4 that he left in that second frame. So now we've got Wyatt Swing in the 3 spot. Looking for some more redemption. Hopefully we can get our 10 back from him as well. And Katie's going to knock 3, 4, 5 out of there. Wyatt leaves a singular 6 pin up there to run down. Katie Stern was able to knock 3 of those out of the 5 down, and Wyatt was able to convert his 6 pins. So now we've got Caleb Ernst up in the 4 spot. Good call by Coach Anderson and Kurtz. Caleb's been going really well tonight. We do need him in that 4 spot just to lead up to Logan's 5th and 10th frames. On the girls' side, we have Alyssa Hickey up on the 3. Caleb Ernst, his ball looks pretty good. He came in a little bit high, it looks like, and he's going to leave a 3-6. And it looks like he's going to leave the big 4, so that's a big one. Obviously, again, just want to go for count on that.
Yeah.
Able to convert that 3-6 there. So now we've got Logan Strom up in the 5th frame for our varsity boys. Liz Funky, of course, she went for the count there and got 2. So now we've got McKenna Erickson up in the 3 spot for our varsity girls on lane 3. Logan Strom's going to go Brooklyn there, maybe 6 pin on lane 6. And McKenna Erickson is going to get the big 4 again. So again, just want count on this. Logan was able to run down that 6 pin. So now we have Eric McCulley back up in the 6th frame. McKenna Erickson was not able to convert any of those, so she didn't get any count in that frame. So the varsity girls are struggling a little bit. Most we've had in a frame so far is a 6 count. So I'd love to see Ivy Stevens get a strike here. I think she needs that confidence boost tonight. She's really just been struggling. It didn't look great off of her hand. Another 5 count for the Cyclones. Eric McCulley had a strike on lane 5 for our varsity boys. Put us in a good spot into the second half of their last game. Hoping Jason McDaniels hangs on there and like a 5 pin. Ivy was only able to get 4 of those out of there. So only sitting at a 31 for our varsity girls. Hoping Andrea Wright-Bell can get us on the right track with some type of fill in this 5th frame. Jason McDaniel up for the 2nd ball in the 7th frame, seeing if he can run down this 5 pin, which looks like he's going to.
and Andrea Reitfeld has a 5-pin. Andrea is unfortunately going to miss that 5-pin on lane 3.
4 pins on this alley.
Looks like we needed to add a 4-pin to lane 6, so we have the front left fence up there. Jake's got that one covered again, so we'll wait for him to get back, and then the boys will continue play on lanes 5 and 6. Sounds like Mr. Dotzler got a round of applause for his setup there. Also just asked for me to give him a shout out, so that was very nice of him while I was doing that. So we've got Katie Stern up on lane 3, trying to go for the spare. She's going to get 2 of them out of there. Got the 7-8, and Wyatt Smink was only able to get 1 out of his leave. So back to Caleb Ernst. Need a big one out of him to set Logan up for a Big 10 frame. Just looking for the count here. Finish today strong. Get some practice and some rest over the weekend. And come back strong on Monday for the last home meet for our seniors ever. And then the last home meet of the season for all of our underclassmen. Caleb, 6, 7, 10. Obviously, we'd love to see him convert this, as it is very doable, but we're just going to encourage count for now. Alyssa Monkey up on lane 3 for the varsity girls. She's going to get a 6 count there, excuse me, and leave the 1, 3, 8, 10. Again, just count on this. Could easily get the 1, 3, 10 out of there, just depending on how she shoots at this.
Come on, Aaron, walk straight.
All right. Caleb is going to go ahead and unfortunately not get any of those out of there tonight. So he is all done for the night. So we'll just kind of depend on Logan Strong, see if we can get some more count here so the boys can go out on a high note. The OABC IG varsity boys finished with a 164 for their last Baker game tonight, and the OABC IG varsity girls finished with a 115 for the night. Logan Strong gets a 9 count, leaves the 6 pin on lane 5 for the last frame of the night for our varsity boys. And then we have McKenna Erickson up in the girls' 8th frame with a 7 count. See if she's able to convert this for our Cyclones. Our JV boys are headed into their 5th frame of their last Baker game. Logan was able to convert that 6 pin tonight, so we're going to go ahead and give him one more shot. Hopefully he can go out with a bang and get all 10 tonight. Go out on a strong note, like I said. Practice a little bit tomorrow, get some rest over the weekend, prepare for Monday's meet. Ivy Stevens up for the varsity girls on lane 3. She's going to go Brooklyn and leave a 5 pin. Looks like Logan's going to go right in the pocket with this, and unfortunately just those splits, they're just staying there tonight, so he left a 5-7, and that will complete the varsity boys portion of the meet and conclude the meet tonight. Varsity boys finished with a 146 for their last game, so I believe with the mental math that I'm doing, OABC IG boys are going to go ahead and take the win home tonight over the Harlan Cyclones. We'll give one last shout out to all of our sponsors as we finish the night off. Our sponsors for tonight are Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, East Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conduct Expampler, the Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Murchie Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Again, thank you to our sponsors. Finishing up the last frame here for the varsity girls, they're going to go ahead and finish with an 83, I believe. Kind of a tough game for them. And so, again, my mental math is all correct. It looks like the varsity Cyclones are going to lose to the OBACIG Falcons. Stay on for the JV boys in a minute. All right, well that concludes tonight's bowling meet. Like I said, we'll be back on Monday, January 27th for the last home meet of the season versus Red Oak. That is senior night, so if you do have a senior that you're cheering for this year, go ahead and come down to Cyclone Lanes 345 on Monday and support. We'd love to have you, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let it warm up.
JV has it on senior night. JV always does it on senior night. So I don't know if it's boys or girls, but I don't know. I think they both did.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I tried asking them.
There's a lot of harvest nights I spent on the radio listening to them, but I've always listened and watched. Been there.
And you need your headphones. I have them. You got them already? Okay.
How did you get those to fit in the bottle?
Tetris.
Yeah, that's because I had to put the bands in there like that, and it was weird.